What's up, everyone? Francisco here, checking in with you. Be sure to follow my socials at Metal X Candy. I'm here to talk about the first inaugural Metal Injection Festival put on by the website of the same name. Frank, who I had the pleasure of interviewing not too long ago prior to the event, gave us a little bit of a peek inside of what we were to expect, but you could not expect this event to be so monumental for its first go around. 2 nights, Santa Ana and Anaheim. Both nights were amazing. I do have to say that my favorite night was, of course, Saturday night, where the Cavalera brothers, Igor and Max Cavalera, did an amazing set covering Bestial, Devastation, and Morbid visions. First night took place in Santa Ana at a venue called the Observatory, formerly known as the Galaxy Theater. Many great shows have happened there. And starting off the night was a band called Dead Heat. They were from Oxnard, California. The thing about this bill and the whole show, both nights, there were a lot of local bands on this bill, which if you're local, if you're from Southern California, I mean, that's great. I think it sets a nice tone for up-and-coming talent. Not just sets a tone, but it sets the stage for these bands who might not have been on big bills with big bands. And for whatever reason, Frank and Metal Injection gave these guys a shot. And once you catch them live, you kind of see why they're there. Dead Heat from Oxnard, California. They were a bit of the hardcore crossover metal, not quite punk, but I think a lot of people will gravitate towards them. Shout out to them. World at War is their latest release, so check them out. Followed by Fueled by Fire. Shout out to Mario, a guy that I used to work with over at SIR in Hollywood, and his band Fueled by Fire from Norwalk, California. These guys have been around for a minute, and they've recently celebrated 16 years of their debut record, Spread the Fire, that was out in 2006. They will also be playing the Gates of Metal Festival happening a couple weeks in October, also in Orange County at the Garden Grove Amphitheater. Real nice amphitheater. But Fueled by Fire, lots of energy in the show. They sounded really, really tight. It was cool to see Mario up there in action. And be sure you catch them next time around. Next up was Incite, who you may or may not know. Richie Cavalera, the son of Gloria and stepson of Max Cavalera, is the vocalist for this band. And it's been great to see him grow, not just as a kid, but as a front man. I've seen this band numerous times, and it's really awesome to see him just progress. And great set, powerful set. He was always demanding the attention of the audience, and asking how everybody was doing, and really just dominating the stage. And really good band. I think I strongly recommend, if you haven't heard of Incite, go check them out. was Exhumed, San Jose's finest. Really stoked to check these guys out. Been a fan for a long time. I got to talk to Matt Harvey not so long ago, just about a year ago actually, prior to the release of their latest To the Dead. Another reason to check these guys out was because Mike Hamilton behind the drum kit. Mike Hamilton, you may know from Deeds of Flesh. You better know from Deeds of Flesh. Uh, Not just great with Deeds of Flesh, but with Exhumed, it's so cool to see him behind the kit. Sick drummer to sick drummer, a pleasure to see his playing, and he's been with him since Necrocracy, since 2011, if I'm not mistaken, probably just prior to that. But great to see Mike Hamilton, who recently celebrated her birthday. Cheers to that. But Exhumed always puts on an amazing show. Of course, you get the cameo appearance by Dr. Filthy, who is always fun to see, grinding his chainsaw right over the crowd. Really great stuff. The backdrop, of course, they have like these TVs playing all this gore and horror movies because they're a gore grind death metal band, and that's the thing, and I love it. You gotta love it. So it's always great to see them. Lots of energy on stage as well. All night, like a lot of the bands displayed all this energy. I think everybody was really excited to just really show up and put on a show for this first inaugural event for Metal Injection. So Exhumed put on a really, really tight set, playing cuts from all their different albums from over the years. So Exhumed, Bay Area, gore grind, thrash metal, really good show. Really good show to that. Favorites of the night, probably my favorites of the weekend. And I will say this, that Saturday night was, of the two nights, Saturday night was definitely my favorite. It was a sold out crowd at the Observatory, and although the House of Blues of Anaheim was slightly larger, that one surprised me that it was not sold out, but I'll get to that later. But next up, you could obviously tell why this was sold out. Cavalera's. Got my Cavalera Conspiracy shirt on. I got this shirt from back in the day at the House of Blues in Hollywood at the Sunset Strip. Rest in peace. And rest in peace to the Sunset Strip. Yeah, I said it. And the special circumstance surrounding this event, this night, was the Morbid Visions and Bestial Devastation. I don't want to say re-releases, but this is the release of the re-recorded material, the early album and EP from way back in the day when Sepultura was establishing themselves as a prime name, as that band from Brazil, the thrash and death metal crossover that they helped develop way back in the day. The rawness of those two records is one of my favorite, and a lot of people will agree that it's the rawness that makes those records our favorite to the day. And while the new re-recordings sound amazing with modern technology, it gives you a different perspective of the sound of their music, things that are there that you didn't know were there, slight changes in the music a little bit, different personnel of course, but Max and Igor lead the charge with these new re-recordings. So this night was an amazing, just thrash, total thrash, death metal, grinding, speed metal, in your face spikes and just red lights, and the crowd just eating it up right since the first note. They were just eating it up, crowd surfing, people just raging and singing back to them. Igor, one of my biggest influences as a drummer. I've developed a lot of my style just following him and hearing, Schizophrenia, Arise, Beneath the Remains especially. A lot of my playing and my style comes from his style of playing, and to him, thank you. It was such an honor to see him. I got to see them way back in the day, the original Sepultura lineup at the Hollywood Palladium here. I think it was maybe 91. But fast forward and to see Igor and Max Cavalera on there on the stage, that brotherly love, you could feel the love in the air. It was amazing to see these guys. And sorry, I don't know the support that they had on guitar and bass, but those guys were phenomenal. They brought the energy too, and you could tell on their faces that they were glad to be there, or more than glad to be there. It's an amazing event that they were able to be a part of, and if they were on the record, amazing job on the new re-recordings. But Bestial Devastation, Morbid Visions, it was great to see these records live, and man, Cavalera, they brought it. I got to see them when they came through for the Beneath the Rise theme shows, but this show in particular was just hard-hitting, blistering speed metal in your face nonstop, and it was great. A great close to the first night of the Metal Injection Festival in Santa Ana at the Observatory. My favorite night of both nights, and I'll tell you why later more. But Cavalera Conspiracy, Exhumed, Insight, Fueled by Fire, and Dead Heat. You know, hails and cheers to you guys. You guys bought the show, and thanks for being a part of the first night. So this concludes the first part of the Metal Injection Festival. Now let's talk about night 2.